Okay, so for anybody who watched last Friday's video about the frozen food, I just wanted to apologize if anybody else heard the background noise. I didn't realize that you could hear it until I was uploading it and rewatching it, just to make sure, I'm not completely messed up, that you could literally hear what I was watching in the background, which is called Murder Maps, which is about murders in England besides Jack the Ripper that, made a big impact in some way. So I just wanted to let you guys know. I do apologize about that. Not sponsored about anything that you're about to see as usual, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that I was sorry. Hey guys, thanks for coming back. I'm starting this in the room, and then I'll go ahead and go out to the kitchen as usual because it's Friday and that's where we make food. I just wanted to let you know that yes, this video is again about tofu, but like last time it was my first experience with tofu. This is going to be me making a different way of tofu. And I'm not saying it's different because obviously there's only so many things you can do, but what I wanted to explain is the fact that I try not to eat frozen or prepared vegan foods when on my days off. So that's what I wanted to do. That's why it's again about tofu, because that's what I wanted to have today. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what we're doing. We're going, it's a fried tofu bowl. I'm going to tell you everything that's in it. Obviously right now the tofu is sitting because it has to sit for 2 hours, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew what you were watching. So I appreciate it. Okay, so I had this whole thing set up where I was about to start the video, and then I realized I still had to marinate it. So that's where we are now. I just finished marinating it. I marinated it in the teriyaki sauce, kikkoman. I love that stuff. It's a little salty, but most marinade, that liquid marinade, that's what I'm saying, is. And I also put garlic pepper in with it because I love garlic pepper. And then pink Himalayan salt because I prefer that for my salt. So I also have water boiling for the rice that's going to go with it, and I'm about to grab the vegetables. Okay, so I got some sweet peppers. I was going to do mushrooms as well, but I honestly have no idea where they went. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those up, and I'm going to fry them, and then I'll put the oil in and do the tofu. Okay, so I know these aren't very big peppers, but I put 2 of each in there because I don't want my dish over peppery. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pan heating up. It's going to take a second, but I figured I'd heat that up. The water is almost ready to boil, so I could put the rice in, which the rice I use is just the boiling in the bag rice. Honestly, I'm a little lazy, but it's brown rice. Decided that's the one I wanted. I went back and forth. And while I have a second, I did want to show, yes, I have used this tofu before, but it's as mayo tofu. It's really good. It's the firm, the extra firm one I had in the middle of all these videos. It was good too, so I haven't had a problem with either yet. Before I'm gonna go ahead and use my sesame oil again. I figured I'd use it until it goes out. So it looks like I might be able to get 1, maybe 2 times out of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that for the tofu when I fry it, and I'm obviously going to batter it in cornstarch to make sure it's crunchy. Okay, so the very first time I did this, I don't know if you remember, I put a whole crap load of cornstarch in here, and I wasted a lot of it because you do not need that much cornstarch. Obviously, because it's just a light batter. It's not like you wouldn't use a lot of batter for anything really. So I'm just putting a little cornstarch in here, and when it's ready, we'll go ahead and go from one to the other. Obviously, still gonna have to let it heat up with the oil, but I'm still frying the vegetables. It just sounds good saying that. Okay, so real quick before, actually I'm going to mix these first. Taste so I can have nice and dry. Okay, so if you want to see, we've already had dinner. So this is my lunch and dinner for tomorrow. But I'll go ahead and quick bite, make sure it didn't turn out like butt. Okay, so the oil's in there. I'm going to let the pan, obviously it's already hot, so I'm only going to let it heat up for a second while I go ahead and batter those and put them in there. Put the tofu in the batter and then in the pan. And I did it in squares this time. The time that I didn't I put it in little squares, and that's just because it went better with this. And the big strips I did the first time, I had to cut anyway. So I figured this would be the best idea, to try to do it in small little squares. Okay, so honestly, what I just did was the fact that grabbing it out of all that makes my hands sticky, and it's hard to grab some of the tofu. So I just put it in a strainer real quick, put something underneath it so I could just pick it up when that's done, so I don't have to wait and try to figure out with my hands all sticky and gross. Okay, so the last little bit where a lot of crumbles, because it is a little fragile one coming out, and I did break some of it, which is fine. Just letting you know when we do this. What I'm doing, obviously, is I'm getting a bowl to mix it all together, and then I have two things in the back, one for lunch tomorrow, one to bring to work. Just letting you know what's going on over here. I do plan to clean up the mess. It's easier to do one big cleanup than a bunch. Okay, tofu's done. Now I'm just going to let it rest. I wait 600 years for the rice to finish. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to go ahead and put it in the strainer. Pull the, you know, the basic rice. Pull it out of the bag, put it in the bowl. Okay, so the salt, the garlic pepper, and some vegan butter is what I'm going to put in here. Yes, there is such thing as vegan butter. I just put the vegetables in there, or the peppers, because that's really all it is. And then coming over here to put all the tofu in here. Obviously this is going to be over tofu, for lack of better terms, because it's more tofu than I could have made more rice, but it's more tofu than vegetables and stuff. But I figured that would be okay. I'll make a nice scramble, for lack of better terms. It's supposed to be like a bowl, so I probably should have put more rice in it, but as long as I can mix everything, everything should be fine. That is what it looks like. The peppers, the rice, the tofu. Like I did state, it is over tofu, but it's going to work. Because that's, you know, I do like the same thing with meat. I like the meat to be the most part of it, so I still have the rice and the vegetables, but the tofu is the main part of it. Okay, so the video cut out, I'm not quite sure where. I did try it. I said that the tofu is at my texture that I like. I probably could have cooked the vegetables a little longer, but they are good. And, you know, there's not much ways to mess up rice, so everything's good. I'm excited that I cooked something tonight so I can eat it tomorrow instead of having frozen, throwing it in the oven and tossing it out when I have for lunch. That because I get up with only so much time to get ready for work. Even when I do get up a little bit early, it doesn't seem to be enough time. So it was good that I did this. I'm glad. And okay, so thank you guys for coming in. I'm sorry it's tofu again, but I wanted to make sure I ate something that wasn't frozen like always. So I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday.